Welcome to Sliders Beers, and this is where I try some beers you may have seen in your local grocery store and elsewhere in America, and try them, sometimes so you don't have to. And today's beer, Lagunitas IPA, might be one of those to be wary of. We'll get into why after I show you the box, the details, and after I have a quick history of the brewery. Here's the box. And here are the details. Now let's have a look at the history. Lagunitas have one of those awesome histories that make this section well worthwhile. It includes police raids, cannabis use and more. The Lagunitas Brewing Company was founded in 1993 by Tony McGee in Lagunitas, California, and moved a year later to Petaluma, California. That was due to rapid expansion, and by 2011 they had 92 employees, with their beers being available in 32 states of the USA. Expansion continued with a $9.5 million improvements program in 2012 and the opening of a plant in Chicago. Such rapid growth came partly perhaps from the way they conducted themselves, often having weekly beer parties where cannabis was apparently also featured. The brewery was raided in 2005 to explore claims of cannabis use and dealing. No charges were brought, and in fact, Lagunitas have used the number 420 before now in advertising and released a THC and CBD infused sparkling water called Hi-Fi Hops. Heineken bought a 50% share of the company in 2015 and bought the remainder of the company in 2017. Here's the bottle. And we'll take a walk while I tell you what's happened to this beer. I decided a walk in the woods might be an idea while we discuss this. Much better than just looking at me while I'm sat at the table. So the problems began at about the start of this year, 2026. After having drunk Lagunitas IPA for several years, I would say 3 or 4 years. I found that the malts, the balance, everything was fantastic on it, and it was definitely one of my favourites that I used to get in our local Walmart. Well then, as I say, things changed. I got a box of 6, I think just before New Year, somewhere like that, and after 3 of them on one Friday night, I was up all night in the bathroom being ill. So I put that down to maybe food poisoning, maybe too many beers in the Christmas period, something like that. And then bought another pack of 6. That would be a few weeks later. And again, I was very ill. About 3 o'clock in the morning, I was up all night. It was a terrible experience. So I put those beers to one side for a little while. And about, say, 3 weeks later, decided to have another 2 of them. Again, I was up overnight being violently ill. And that really put me off the beers themselves. I thought, this, could it be me? Could it be my age? Well, the thing is there, no, because other beers, such as New Belgium's Voodoo Ranger, are a lot stronger, a lot more potent. And then we've got Goose Island's IPA. And that is very much an equivalent beer, excellently brewed, absolutely 0 problems. The only problem has been with Lagunitas IPA. So about end of March this year, I thought, well, there's been 3 months, 3 clear months of not having had this beer. Surely any problems with yeast, other such things, in the factory, may have been cleared out by now. This was a beer definitely worth returning to, because it must be one of my top 3 of all time. After 40 years and 2,500 different beers, this, in the IPAs, was just about where it was at, about the best. So such a loss. So I bought that next box of 6. And I had 2 of those one evening, and again was up overnight, all night, being ill. So that's why the box is tattered on the table. That's why there's only one of these left in that box. I would like to know if you have tried it, and especially recently, whether you've had any problems, what your rate of the beer. Could it just be me? Could it be a problem of mine, even though I've tried other very, very similar beers and had zero issues? We'll go back to the table now, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with this bottle. Back at the table, I do need to get the cap from this to put it on this sheet of cardboard. And what this is to show you the different beers that I've reviewed so far. So I'll put it into a glass. I can show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to decant it into this bottle of Shiner's Peach Wheat, which is now empty. A very pleasant drink that you can find a review of in the last video. Right, let's get this opened. There we go, got the cap. I can put that on the cardboard, and now we'll do the pour. It is such a loss, this one, because it was one of my favourite beers. Pours very nicely indeed. It's got a light golden colour and a good cream head. I'll show it nearer to the camera now. There we go. As you can see, it even looks like a great beer. Good creamy head, good amount of bubbles, and the smell is of a very nice and balanced IPA, which it always used to be. So, without further ado, I'll put it into this bottle off camera, and then you know what this is going to end up as? An anti-slug treatment for the garden. Can't drink it. See you in the next one.